Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial. I really won't be cutting out most of my talking, so you're just going to hear a lot of ums along the way. First thing about color is it's pretty difficult, but once you get used to choosing what colors you want, pretty easy. This is a drawing I did 1 year ago. I used to do black and white for shading, so I used black for that part and white for that part. It's not a very good thing to do because it just makes it look horrible, especially if you're using a type of yellow. So depending on what kind of drawing you're doing, what kind of hue you want, like if it's something warm, then you would use a brown or a red almost. And if you're using, like it's nighttime or something like that, then you would use a blue or purple to shade. And you would use that and then put it on multiply, and so it looks better instead of just doing saturation or darkening the color. Especially if you're coloring a person, the darker it goes, or the darker the shade it would be more red instead of, black. So if you're doing lighting, then I usually use an off-white kind of yellow. You see it in most of my drawings, and I usually put it on overlay or luminosity and put it down in opacity. So that's for shading at least. If you want to add more depth to your shading, then you just, add more shading to whatever you're doing. Like, you put a shade there, and there, and there, and there. Just put it on multiply, and it doesn't look horrible. So if you're using a color wheel, and I just learned this, so, well, this part anyway. I didn't learn it just now. You would use the opposite color of what it is. So if you're using a yellow, then you would use a blue as a different color. You can also use colors within like a gradient. So orange would go to red and other things like that. You want to add some saturation to it, so this would be the area you would choose for colors. So the color palette what I probably choose would be that, maybe that can be a skin color, and then that. So the yellow really stands out, and it's not all really bright colors. If I were to use all really bright colors, it would just hurt a person's eyes. Like, have red, and you use purple. Let's just say use yellow, and green. It'll just look very plain and very fake, I would say. So there's color palettes on the internet that would have a gradient or use a different color, like this right here. It's a different color, or this is kind of a gradient, this would be more green, that's more blue. So it just kind of depends on what kind of theme or hue you're going for. There we go. Okay. Another one of my old drawings, which I horribly regret doing, is this. I use blue and purple for this. So this would be the color palette for it. It looks... it's mostly blues and purples, but there's no real eye-catching thing to this because it all just blends in together. So if you're doing background, gradient kind of color is fine, but the character here doesn't really have anything that stands out besides this little yellow that you can barely see right there and there. And even his eye color, I think. I don't remember. Yeah, his eye color is yellow too. And that's not... doesn't stand out very much, so that would be kind of a problem. So, wrong thing. Okay, there we go. So if I were to do this again, I would use the background colors again, because they're not horribly bad, but I would make the character bigger and more noticeable, because that's stands out a little bit, but not a whole lot, because I added black to it. So it's just... I don't know how to explain it. It just looks like me. It just looks... And if you want to look up color wheels, there's tons of color wheels you can just look up. And look, there's a fruit one right there. Yeah. Okay, bye guys. Hope you learned today. Hello and welcome to this ending card. I am Yasu, the one who does the draw. And the art. So, I'm sorry for not uploading once a week like I'm supposed to. I'm trying to figure out a schedule, so if you have any recommendations on what my schedule should be, link that in the comments. If you have any ideas for tutorials or speed paints that I should do, like for speed paints, of course, mostly fan art, unless you want to recommend any characters of mine I should draw. So I'm going to end this right now. Bye!